Have you ever asked yourself, why is it that I feel stuck in the same place, doing the same things, expecting a different result? Why is it that I have the mindset that I do? Why do I judge and perceive people the way that I do? Why do I feel so unfulfilled at times? If I'm being completely honest, I will say that I have. Asking myself these types of questions have helped me to better understand myself, as well as eliminate self-limiting beliefs and patterns. It has also pushed me to be a more authentic version of myself. Hey, we in the lion's den. Hey, hey, we in the lion's den. Hey, hey, we in the lion's den. Hey, hey, we in the lion's den. So y'all let me chill out. Hey lions, it's your girl Precious and welcome back to the Lion's Den. We are actually like a vibe today. Okay, shout out to my girl Ellie for the rolling chair. I'm gonna try to sit still because knowing me, I don't know how to, but this is a vibe. This is a vibe. You get to see my LED lights, okay? We are 1 year into the lock journey. I don't even know what word was about to come out of my mouth, but that wasn't it. Shout out to my locks. Shout out to me for making it to a year. Okay, we look crazy, but hey, this is a part of the journey. Embracing every aspect, every part of the locks and not caring. And that's kind of the vibe that I'm in right now. That's what has brought us to this video. Before I get into all of that, I just want to say thank you guys so much for being a part of this journey with me. Not just my hair, just the Lion's Den journey as a whole. It's kind of crazy to think that we almost hit a year with that as well in a couple of months. If not next month, that's crazy. Shout out to all 50 of my subscribers. We finally hit 50 in here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for taking the time out of your busy schedule to just show me love and support. I really don't know where I would be without this platform, without this journey. And really, like I said, that's what this video is about. Just breaking outside of the barriers of our fears and doing whatever makes us happy. And this has really pushed me to just keep following whatever my soul wants to do. So thank you guys for being here with me. Like I said, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the Lion's Den and hit the notification button so you don't miss any videos in the future. And go ahead and add me on all my socials so we can stay connected. I will leave that down below. Let's get into the video. Today we're going to talk about destroying the box, okay? We're going to talk about what the box is, why I think you should destroy it, and what it means to live outside of the box. This time last year, I had the most life-changing, most enlightening experience I could have ever gone through. It helped me to better understand myself, what life is as a whole, my family dynamics, my upbringing. But the biggest thing that has stuck with me the longest has been the box that life has put us in, that the people in our lives, society has put us in. This box represents the limitations and constraints that have been put on us to keep us in a place of stagnance, but mostly to restrict us to what is considered socially acceptable. Our personal experiences condition the way that we view ourselves and the world around us. Based on those experiences, we establish value and meaning so that we are able to navigate life in a way that feels comfortable for us. In sociology, they teach us about things such as labels, gender, and symbols, and how we as humans use them in order to categorize people and things so that we can better understand the world that we live in. They also teach us that in doing so, by keeping this mindset, we are subconsciously creating stereotypes and generalizations. For example, from the time that we are born, We are told that boy is blue, girl is pink. Boys play with trucks and action figures, and girls play with Barbie dolls and kitchen sets. We have been putting things in box for as long as we could remember. Even that toy where you put the pyramid inside of the triangle side, you put the cube inside of the square side, so on and so forth. We as humans have an innate need to label and to group things in order to better comprehend them. We see a masculine woman or a man who paints his nails or wears makeup, and we automatically assume that they're gay. This is such a problem within our society, especially in race, culture, and the neighborhoods we grew up in. Someone will tell you they're from Africa, for example, and automatically many of us will assume that they live in villages and huts. Someone will tell you that they grew up in an urban neighborhood, i.e. the hood, and we will assume that they're uneducated. Flip that on the other side, someone can tell you that they're from a suburban neighborhood, a gated community, and we assume that they're rich and that they have access to everything or that they don't face any problems. You see a tall person and you automatically think they play basketball. You see a person that's overweight and you assume that they have an eating issue. Neither of these are always the case. All of these examples, these stereotypes that we've created, not only are they ignorant, but they're unfair. We see each other and we make assumptions and judgments on what we perceive to be true. People are just people. And once we're able to take away those labels and destroy those boxes, we are able to learn to love one another and treat each other as such. Instead of just treating a person kindly simply because they fit what is good and right to you. The box also represents the person we've been conditioned to be, whether that be by our family, teachers, or peers. Them telling us why we can't do something or why we shouldn't pursue something. Them highlighting a certain aspect of us and only pushing us to be that. For example, let's look at athletes who have been playing ever since they were a child. That's the only part of them that was ever highlighted. Their other talents weren't nurtured. And because ball is life, that's all there ever really was. The goal is to have these people around us to mold you into the person that they want you to be. This reminds me of the movie Dead Poets Society. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It is such an amazing movie, and it stars the great late Robin Williams. I think it truly highlights the dangers of what it means to be stuck in a box or keeping yourself in that box. Spoiler alert, if you think you're gonna go watch this movie, I ask that you pause it here and you go watch it and you come back. Anyways, in this movie, this boy attends the academy, and as he's going there, his goal, or his parents' goal for him, was to follow in his brother's footsteps and graduate and become a doctor or to pursue medicine. As he's going through his semester, he realizes that he has a love for theater. He starts to thoroughly enjoy acting in plays. When his father finds out, he reprimands him and tells him that he is to only focus on his studies and graduate. That was his only purpose of going to this school. Fast forward, even after his peers and his teacher telling him to follow his dreams, forget what his dad says, he becomes so fearful of disappointing his parents that he commits suicide. I know that that is such an extreme example, but just the pain of not being able to live outside of that box that his parents created for him, of not pursuing his dreams, of disappointing, the idea of disappointing his parents was too great that he would rather not live than to have just settled with the consequences. This brings me to my point of why I think we should break out of these boxes and destroy them completely. I feel like they impose limits onto who we are and the world that we live in. So many of us are living in our limitations right now, constantly telling ourselves that we are too old, too young, not experienced, not educated, underqualified, too fat, too skinny, too tall, too short. restricted by our faith, or just held to the person that everyone else wants us to be. You know what happens when you keep yourself inside of that box? You grow old, filled with bitterness and regret. There's a quote in the book, The Alchemist, by Paulo Coelho. If you haven't read it or you haven't heard of it, I highly recommend that you read it. I think it is one book that truly highlights the importance of living outside of that box and following your passion and what makes you happy. The quote says, "I'm going to hate those who have found their treasure because I have never found mine." The treasure they speak of is your passion and your purpose. There's another quote I recently came across that said something along the lines of, "The life you have is the one that you settled for." You can't be upset about not finding your treasure if you never went to search for it in the first place. It is never too late to start the search. You may hear me saying all of this and ask yourself, well, what if I fail? What if I go after my passions and I lose everything that I've built? Or what if I don't even enjoy what it is that I was searching for in the first place and I end up wasting time? First, I'm going to tell you that is your ego. Our ego is the one that keeps us trapped in these boxes. It is the one that is keeping us in fear and keeping us restricted to what is comfortable. Secondly, I'll tell you, even if all that happens, at least you can say that you tried, that you didn't settle, and that you stopped limiting yourself. I was listening to a podcast recently by Vishan Lakiani. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I will link his information down below. He runs the Mind Valley podcast. And he was talking about how even when we experience our greatest losses, we have gained so much. We are able to grow from that experience, learn from our mistakes, and build upon all that we've gone through. Instead of allowing the fear to overtake you, transmute that into curiosity. Be excited about the what ifs. What if it's the best decision you've made in your entire lifetime? What if it all works out? What you don't want to do is get further in life asking yourself why you didn't at least try. Why didn't you follow your heart? It's okay not to know what to do, where to start, or what's to come. That's the beauty of life. But what I will say is that to get anywhere, you have to at least take one step. The biggest thing that I've learned in destroying the box that I've lived in for so long is that on the other side of fear is fulfillment. I have discovered who I've always been at my core instead of diluting myself to fit the image that everyone else has had for me. I went from being this shy, introverted, socially anxious person who is fearful of everything to this outgoing, joyful, unapologetic being who is now tackling their fears head on and who pushes themselves past their limit. I now live in my truth firmly, and I voice my opinion without any care in the world. And I am finding that at the end of the day, I'm the only person who can make me happy. And I'm the only person that I have to answer to. With all that being said, I encourage you today to break outside of your box and to live your most authentic life. I first want to give you 3 questions that I want you to take away and to really think about. 1, if you could do anything with no limitations, what would it be? 2, what's stopping you and what are you afraid of? 3, when are you going to take the first step? Lastly, in order to fully get rid of this box, I ask you to consider what it has been for you. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Who has put you inside of this box? Who does it tell you that you are? I also want you to think about who it is you want to be outside of that box. Your mindset, your character, what's important to you, things of that nature. And then I want you to destroy the box. You can rip it up if you decided to write or to burn it as well, or you can visualize it. Really feel the emotions tied to the box and visualize. It can be a form of a box if you want. Just whatever that looks like to you, what that feels like to you. It can even be the person that you want to let go of. But truly visualize that person being destroyed, that box being destroyed, and just let it go. Let go of all that energy. Or you can simply do it by setting an intention. I want you to tell yourself every single day, I am not who the world wants me to be. I am authentically and unapologetically me. I'm going to say that again. I am not who the world wants me to be. I am unapologetically and authentically me. Finally, I want to remind you that you are not limited, and neither are the people around you. We are all limitless. As we continue to grow and experience new things or face different challenges, our wants, likes, and goals are going to change. And so who you are today may not be the same person you are tomorrow, in a week, in a month, or even 5 years. In the words of Tabitha Brown, that's your business, okay? Don't allow people to put you in a box. Whatever box that they have for you, they're going to try to reshape it in order to fit what they believe to be true about you. Switch it up. Throw the people off, because at the end of the day, we are ever changing, ever evolving creatures. We can like what we like and do what makes us happy, whatever version of us that is in that moment. It is not your job to please or to make anyone comfortable. Destroy that box forever and live the life that you want to. I don't know who that message was for, but I know it's going to resonate with someone. I just really hope that you gather how important this is for me. It has been something that has really helped me on my journey of self-fulfillment and just really learning how to live for myself for once, because I've been living for everyone else around me for way too long. I ask that if this video does resonate with you, that you like it, that you know someone in your life that is living in their limitations, that you go ahead and share it with them, that you give it a thumbs up, and that you comment to me what it is that you have been held to. What does your box look like? What fears have been keeping you from pursuing your passion? Honestly, it's none of my business, but I do care, and I do know that it takes a lot of courage to step outside of what's comfortable. So I commend you on whatever part of your journey you're in, and I just ask that you continue to grow with me. Like I said before, go ahead and subscribe to the Lion's Den so you don't miss any future videos. Put on the notifications button and add me on all my socials. Until next time, y'all be easy.